The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by Miss Betawi Simmons. Chapter 22. In the Haunted House. About noon the next day, the boys arrived at the dead trees. They had come for their tools. I said, Tom, do you know what day it is? Said Huxley. Tom thought and then said, with a startled look in his eyes, good heavens! I never once thought of it. Huck. Well, I didn't either, but all at once I remembered that today is Friday. Hang it, one can't be too careful. Huck, we might have got into an awful lot of trouble starting such a thing on a Friday. Might better say would. There are some lucky days. Perhaps, but Friday isn't one of them. So they give up their search and played Robin Hood all the afternoon. On Saturday, soon after midday, they were back at the dead tree again. They should their toe and marched off. When they reached the haunted sound, the dead silence and the loneliness of the place were so repellent. Then they were afraid for a moment to go in. Then they crept inside. They saw a dusty room with an ancient fireplace, broken window, and ruined staircase. They talked in whispers, listening to catch the slightest sound and ready for an instant retreat. After a time, they became bolder and gave the place a critical and interested examination. Next, they want to look upstairs. They threw their toe in the corner and made an accent. The accent. They found the same sign of decay. They were about to go down and begin break when Tom whispered, "Shh! What is it?" asked Huck, going as white as a sheet with fright. "Shh! There! Hear it! Hear it?" "Yes. Oh, let's run!" "Keep still. Don't move." They're coming right toward the door. The, the terrified boys stretched themselves upon the floor with their eyes to holes in the boards and lay waiting. Two men entered. Each boy said to himself, "There's the old deaf and dumb Spaniard who's been in the town once or twice lately. I've never seen the other man before." The other, who was talking in a low voice, was Drag fellow with an unpleasant face. Then Spaniard was swept. in a bag, loose overcoat. He had a beige white beard, long white hair flowed from under his white hat, and he wore dark spectacles. They sat down on the floor and the other went on talking. No, I thought it's over and it's too dangerous. Dangerous? Repeat the deaf and dumb, spared to the immense surprise and horror of the boys. They gaped and shivers. It was Redskin Joe's voice. Don't be a coward, continued Redskin Joe. It is coming here in the daytime dangerous. Anyone who saw us would suspect us. I know that, replied the stranger, but, but, there isn't any other place as is suitable. I want to leave this place. I want to yesterday, but it wasn't any use trying to move out with those accursed boy playing over there. The accursed boy shimmered again. The boy man got out some food and ate in silence. Look there, said Reskin Joe after time. Go back to your home up the river. Wait there till you hear from me. I risk going into this town just one more for a look round. We'll do that job which you think is dangerous after I've spread round a little and thinks everything's favorable. Then we'll set out of Texas together. This seemed satisfactory. Both men soon began yawning, and Redskin Joe said, I can hardly keep my eye open. It's your turn to watch. He crawled up on the floor and was soon fast asleep. Presently, the watcher began to nod, and he too slept. The boys drew a long, grateful breath. Tom whispered, Now I'll change. Come. Tom York hugged held back. At last Tom rose softly, but the first step he took produced such a terrible crack from the rotten floor that he sunk down almost dead with fright. He did not make a second attempt. As the sun was setting, Redskin Joe sat up, stared round, and then stirred his companion with his foot. You are a fine watchman, are you? It's all right, though. Nothing's happened. Well, it's nearly time to be moving, partner, said Redskin Joe. What shall we do with that money we've got left? I don't know, said the stranger. Leave it here as we're always done. It's not use taking it away till we start out. $650 in silver is a lot of carry. Yes, but it may be a long time before I get the right change for that job. Accidents may happen, and it isn't in a very safe place. We'll bury bully improperly. Good idea, said Reskin Joe's companion, who walked across the room, raised one of the big feet flat stone in the fireplace, and lift out a bag he took from it. $20 or $30 for himself and the same amount for Reskin Joe, and then pass it to the latter, who was on his knees in the corner now, digging with his knife. The boy forgot all their fears, all their miseries. In an instant, with wide eyes, they watched every movement. Luck! This was better than anything they could have imagined. There was the best kind of treasure hunting, without any problemsome uncertainty as to where to dig. Two half-breed knife struck some things. "Hello!" he exclaimed. "What is it?" asked his companion. "It's a bug, I believe. Here, help me. We'll see what it's here for. Never mind, I've made a hole in it." He put his hand in and drew it out. "It's money!" the two men exclaimed. The handful of coins. They were gold. In boy above were as excited, examined, and delighted. "There's an old rusty pig in the corner," said stranger. "I saw it a minute ago." He ran and brought the boys, picked the spade. Redskin Joe took the pig, looked it over critically, shook, shook his head, muttered something to himself, and then began to use it. The box was soon unearthed. "Partner, there are $1,000 here," said Redskin Joe. "I've often heard that Muller gang was around here one summer," remarked the stranger. "It is probably their money." "Well, now you won't need to do that job." The half-breed frowned, a wicked light shone in his eyes. "You don't know me. It isn't robbery altogether. It's revenge, and I've never your help, and I need your help in it." "All right. What shall we do with this? Bury it again?" "Yes." The boys above were delighted. "No, no." This deep disappointment above. I'd nearly forgotten that pig had fresh earned on it. The boys were seized with terror. In a moment, why are a, why are a pig and a spade here? Who brought them? Have you heard anybody? Seen anybody? What? Shall we bury it again and leave them to come and see the ground disturbed? Never. We'll take it to my place. Why? Of course. You mean number one? No, number two. Under the cross, replied Reskin Joe. Number one is not safe enough. All right. It's nearly dark enough to start. The half-breed got up and went about from window to window to window, cautiously weeping out. Who could have brought those tools here? He asked presently. Do you think they can be upstairs? The boy's blood ran cold. Redskin Joe put his hand on his knife, stood for a moment, undecided, and then turned toward the staircase. His step came cracking up the stairs. Both of boys were shivering as if with a dozen fevers. Crash! Reskin Joe leaned on the floor amidst and rotten wood of the fallen staircase. He picked himself up, cursing, and his companion said, Now, what was the use of it? If anybody up here, let them stay here. Who cares? In my opinion, whoever left those tools here caught sight of us and thought we were devils or ghosts. I bet they're running yet. Redskin Joe muttered off sometime soon afterwards. They spilled out of the house in the deepening twilight and moved towards the river with their precious box. Tom and Huck got up, weak but immensely relieved. They had not the slightest desire to follow Redskin Joe and the stranger. They were content to rush the ground without broken neck. They did not talk much on the way home. They were too busy hating themselves and the bad luck that made them take the toll there. But for it, Redskin Joe would never have suspected and would have left the silver and the gold. They determined to keep a lookout of his Spaniard when he came to town, spying out of chance to do his revengeful job and to follow him to number two, wherever that might be.